But I think stuff like that's so important. Like, this past semester, like, started getting into like small groups and stuff at church. And man, I never even heard the word small group until I went to Highlands.
Mm-hmm. Now you have heard it 1,000, 1 million
Oh my gosh,
times.
a million. Hey, and I can't get enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm co-leading one. I'm in 2 others. Like, I can't get enough of them. And they're just a range. They're a range of men who had the same misconception I did. Like, I did a freedom group. Mm-hmm. And it's been amazing. And that's what took me from thinking I'm in trouble, I'm never going to be good enough, to like, no. Just surrender to him. He'll start fixing everything. And the freedom, not to using a plug right there, but it really is. It's like, it takes that bag of bricks off your back, and you're like, yeah, I'm messed up, but I am washed in the blood, and I'm good.
Well, he says,
and I'm not going back.
Yeah, he says to cast your cares and burdens onto him.
Well, he got a whole bushel.
He's the only one who can handle them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I couldn't.
We can't.
You couldn't.
Mm-mm.
In this flesh, we can't. Mm-mm. But we know the one who can.
Yeah. Well, that's why small groups are amazing. It reaches people at pivotal points in their life, whether it's couples, whether it's single men that are struggling, and I've heard of other small groups that are like trying to, just all kinds of peer groups, young parents, new parents.
We call them life groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can,
small group, life group.
Find your people.
Peer group.
Because we're doing life together.
It's surrounding people that you do, like-minded people that you can do life with.
Yeah.
So
I haven't done any small groups because that requires me to do something alone.
No, hey.
We have one bone to pick with the small group, because there is not a single small group that she and I can do together.
I mean, it's female only. You gotta elaborate.
I was about to say, hang on.
Let me rephrase. Sorry.
I'm about to pull the app out.
Sorry. My life, my people is my husband and my best friend. And it's like, okay, I want one that we can do together. So when I said I meant including him. So there's either like couples, right? Or there's women's, or there's parents, which we're over here, and there's like, we don't make a crossroad. There is no crossroads.
For all three.
Or the next one. The next one is, I think this is a girls only, but it was still like 40 and under, and I was like, dang.
And under.
She's in, but I'm out. And I was like,
no. You're in 40 and under. It's like 8U baseball.
No, 40 wasn't on it. It stopped at 39. I was like, dang.
Sorry, under 40.
Well,
It's like under 40. And it was like college and 20s, and then they probably were like, okay, we'll let some 30s, and I'm like, I'm 40.
But see, I'm at the top of that.
So start one.
I know, we did. We talked about it.
We talked about that.
The other two, my other two people in my life, this one and the one I'm married to, were like,
we are the same person.
They are the same person.
Me and her husband are the same.
But I'm telling you, listen,
they weren't ready to lead one, those two. And I'm not going to force that. That's not, they weren't
we don't have to
called for
lead
that.
one.
I get
Well, if
nerdy.
we were going to start one, then they would be.
You lead. What'd you say?
I'd get nerdy. I'd bring my systematic theology textbook. I'd have all my Bibles. I'd have papers from.
You'd run everybody off in the first group. I'm not reading that giant book.
It's crazy.
I did. My husband and I went through the I made him do the at least check the box of we could be leaders, like we did the training thing at church, and then Bo and Kylie had just taken on a role, and so I get a voice message from Bo that's like, hey, a little birdie told me that you and Michael want to lead a group. And I was like, I had to call him. I was like, so here's the thing. Michael does not. I do. I'm maybe, this is where we're at, so I'm not sure you can use us yet. The next day, I get Kylie that's like, hey, hey, do you want to be a co-leader with me? And so I was like, sure. So I dove right in with that, and she and I co-led a group this semester. So we got our feet wet. I am at least, starting, and that was an amazing just experience to get with this group of women, then go through, a little small group. So
I'm gonna say something, and people might get offended or hurt or whatever, but
we're not soft here.
Yeah, go for it.
So I am technically on staff at my church, right? And so I lead a group on Sunday mornings during the second service. Like, I attend the first service with my family. Then I lead a college girls small group during the second service. And then Ryan and I co-lead the college group on Wednesday nights. And then all the other life groups that meet during the week or wherever, they kind of conflict with Ryan and I with our teaching schedule, right? And so it's hard for me to be a part of a life group at my church. But I have partnered with other women at other churches who happen to have life groups on days of the week where I'm not teaching. And I go and I meet with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's a season in life right now. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever, but that's how it needs to work out right now. And God put me in a position to meet with these ladies because I met these ladies because I got invited to co-lead worship at a women's event. And that's how I met these ladies. And then they're like, hey, we're starting a Bible study. Do you want to join us?
I think that should be the least offensive thing
And,
that
like-
anyone has ever said.
Yeah, I thought that was going somewhere totally different.
Well, I say that because, one, I don't know who will listen to this, but two, sometimes
Yeah, no, I know
church
where,
gets to that point where, oh, you got to be loyal to your church. You can only go to your
Right.
church.
I
You
will
can
never,
only,
never.
right?
I
And,
will
and I am
never.
not that.
I'm loyal to God.
we are,
Right.
we are
And
the
so
church.
my
Yeah.
thing is I'm like, yo, I don't follow religion. I follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I do what God calls me to do. And if he called me to connect with a group of women at another church for this season in my life, then that is what I'm going to do.
Right. And I think
Because
that's
that is
amazing.
where I can go and be in community.
Right, for sure.
That's how we should all be.
So I said that because I don't know who listens, and
Sure.
I just need to clarify that, hey, it's okay.
You can find
Like,
so we made
it's
our own.
okay
Yeah.
if you
so it's like
you
we
know
made our own. We're like, we'll do our
Yeah.
own Bible study. We'll
Yeah.
find it.
like it's okay to branch out.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's okay to find other lovers of Jesus.
I feel the most I don't know, revelation, spiritual presence and everything when I'm solo with my Bible. I'm not saying that you don't need church, because you need community, you need your fellowship in that way, but yeah, I with my past, I will never say that I'll stick to one church.
Right.
Like, joining a church to me is like don't say that to me. I ain't a member of nothing but Jesus' church, okay?
Big C church.
Big C. But yeah.
Well, I still joined my church, but that was something
I know-
that was something God convicted me of, right? But
If I feel
my whole
that-
reason for not wanting to join the church was I didn't want to be held accountable.
All right, so talking about small groups and the importance of them, one thing I do, since you're already about small groups and life groups inside your church or out of it, one thing I do want to challenge you to do is, I mean, I know that you're an introvert and I respect that, but I got motivated. I got pushed into that freedom group that I did, and I won't say I went kicking and screaming, but I was like, man, I'm going into this group with a bunch of men ages 30, mid to late 30s to like mid to early 60s. I believe that was the range. I had no homies. I had nothing. I was walking in there, and we sit at this big table, and I'm just like, didn't know a soul. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm in here 12 weeks with these cats. I got to open up to them at some point. Like, I'm not all about this. Mm-hmm. But I do want to encourage you, because let me tell you, like, I did it, and it changed my life, man. So I'm not, reason why I'm encouraging you, but yeah, well, I was just going to say, because
Go ahead.
I know that you've had people who've changed your life. So I say that to say that those 12 other, or I can't remember exactly how many men, 10, 11 men that were in there. But in some way, shape, or form, they all had such an amazing impact on me and how to view my relationship with God. Because I was, like I said, I was viewing it all wrong. And one of the other guys in that group, I mean, the men were just the vessel.
Yeah.
The God and the Holy Spirit were, at work. But another one of the men in that group had no real Christian church background, anything. Actually has a pretty rough story, growing up to listen to. But he went from he's probably real, but hopefully I'll just get to heaven by being a decent person, to having a dream. And his dream woke him up, and it was God talking to him in his dream. And next thing you know, he went from this person to going through the Freedom Group and gave his life to Christ and got baptized. And I mean, like stuff like so.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you were instrumental in as well. God used you in that group as well. So you weren't just there to receive. I'm sure your input God could use to the other 12 that you said as well. You know what I mean? It's like, who knows what God will use what you have to say for someone else.
That's what I want to. I kind of want to dive into that a little bit too, because so I told you I've been going to my church for 15 years, something like that. Well, 15 years ago, we did not have as many life groups as we do now. Okay, like we just didn't. We weren't that big. We didn't have enough teachers, so there was like maybe 2 life groups. So it was either you went or you didn't, right? But the life group that I went to was a mixed adult life group, okay? There was no label. There was no you had to be married or you had to be single or you had to be of this age or whatever. It was just mixed adults. Whatever walk of life you're in, come on, come join us. We're studying the Bible together and we're hanging out. And it was one of my most favorite life groups ever. And I'm like, why don't we go back to this? But we used to meet on Friday nights. And I told y'all before, Ryan was always working, so it was typically just me and the kids, right? Y'all, this life group allowed me to bring my kids with me to life group every week. And I was not the youngest one there, but I was in between. And there were some younger people there, younger single people there. I was the in-between younger parent, and then there were older parents, and then you had older people who either their kids were grown or just people without kids. So you had all walks of life in this life group, okay? But it was so amazing to do life with them and study the Bible with them, because on Friday nights, I would go and the younger people would be like, hey, we'll go play with the kids outside so you can eat.
Yeah.
And then I would go get my kids. They would come in and eat, right? And then the youth kids would be there, like the other teenagers that came with their parents. They would take the younger kids and go play with them while we did the Bible study. And so we were all there together, and we would all take turns at our houses. And we were just doing life together. But the cool thing about it was because it was mixed adults. You had older people who were pouring into younger people, right? And so it was just you could see the generations. You had your teenagers taking care of the little ones, right? And then you had people like me who could pour into those teenagers. And then you had the older people there who could pour into me. And so at any given moment, you were either in the teaching position or you were in the student position. So we were very much Paul and Timothy. Mm-hmm. And so to me, that's what life groups should look like.
I love that.
Stop putting labels on life groups.
Well, and I think
Just go.
I'm with you. I don't think you necessarily have to put a label on it, but I think for some people it opens up them to doing it, because it's like there's a commonality here.
Yep.
I mean, Highland. Some of the life groups, the titles are there's one who like to go to like Topgolf.
Yeah,
They all
there's
have
sports, there's pickleball.
It's just encouragement to hang with like-minded.
it's like,
fine.
but I
it's
mean,
fun
But that's
hobby.
fine, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm totally with you. Like I love that concept, because I mean, again, that's that community, and that's you getting just not only like Christian or like godly wisdom, but also life wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from the generation older than you that you're passing down. Like that's one thing that eventually, I've said multiple times I want to get into ministry work, but one of the places I'd love to work with people on is like younger adult men, like, that kind of high school, early college age, because I feel like, and again, this is not a shot at my family whatsoever, but I feel like that's where the wheels fell off for me.
Me too. I mean, it's the same age
Yeah.
for where I stopped attending regularly.
Yes,
And so
exactly.
it's like you lose that.
I got a car and then I stopped going.
Yeah, it's like you lose that. I moved out. I moved out of my parents' house and moved to a
Accountability.
different town. Yeah, and
It's
so you
the age of
lose your-
accountability.
Yeah, so and you lose
And I
your
had none.
group. And did you know that there was Highlands in Auburn when we were in Auburn? We just
Ouch.
didn't know.
That stinks.
I know.
I
You know
worked
how
at Highlands,
awesome it
but
would've been to go?
I worked at Highlands, the bar.
Not the same one.
Not the same one. I mentioned that in my other small group, and I was like, "Yeah, I lived in Auburn. I worked at Highlands." They were like, "Oh, that's amazing." I was like, I worked at the bar. I was a bouncer. I was a bouncer at the bar, not the church. I should have been in church.
Should have been in
But that's where I want to pour into people because,
Yeah.
you know, like you were just telling a beautiful story about somebody who poured into you and it changed your life. And that's kind of where, like,
I think you need to also though be aware. This is a quote I heard one time. I could not tell you where I heard this. Somebody say this. You cannot change anyone's testimony. Technically, they said you can't change your child's testimony. And that is something that is so incredibly true of you can't change their story. If you had known that there was a Highlands Church in Auburn, like you were just saying, you don't know that you'd have gone.
Right.
Because God may have still needed you to make certain decisions to lead you to a place where he could use you, or he needed you to learn certain things to lead you to where he could use you. I know I've had to go through what I've gone through so that it can be used in whatever way he sees fit. So understanding that those moments in life of our bar hopping, working,
Rumspringa.
Rumspringas, okay?
I like how we messed that.
They give you.
Well,
this
we
is not
have-
to encourage.
We have free will.
I know
Yes,
what you're
yes.
saying.
I'm not
though.
We have
encouraging-
free will, and so God will allow us to make choices for ourselves, right? But in the end, we will still end up where he predestined us to be in the first place. It's just a matter of how you get there.
He accounts for our stupidity.
Are you gonna get there? Are you gonna get there on the path that he originally laid out for you? Or are you gonna do it your way? Like his path is straight. Your path of going yourself is like
I'm gonna climb a few mountains.
like
Yeah.
you know, you're all over the
can
place.
do it.
Fall off the mountain.
But
climb
the
back up
end
the mountain.
result is you still end up where he wanted you to be all along. It's just how did you get there?
Right. And so, and what I was thinking is like, while it's not encouraged to make Rumspringa choices or, you know, delve into that part of life, it at the same time, I can relate to people who do the same or have been in the same positions or have experienced the same struggles and turmoils, because God needs people that can relate to those people, right? And can make you feel, hey, I did that too. You're okay. You know,
Right.
or I went there too, and this is how I got through it, and maybe I can help and whatever.
Well,
or
because
just
there's
how-
that misconception that because you're a Christian that you're perfect and you do everything right.
Right.
No, you're not.
friend.
No, you're not.
Well, just like you said, I think if somebody can ever hit you with like, well, you just wouldn't understand. It's like,
Oh, but I
oh,
will.
buddy, I've got the T-shirt. Like, I think that's like you said, because there are so many people. There's this amazing, God-loving couple that I know, and I'll, you know, out of respect for them, I won't say their names, but they've been good since day one. Mm-hmm. They don't get me wrong, they've sinned, but like their sins would be like G-rated sins compared to mine. You know,
They
like
gossip about their neighbor.
they are amazing. Yes, exactly. They gossip, or they might. Yeah, there's no
Something.
telling, but it's so minor compared to me. But like they lost a child. They lost a child at within a few weeks of birth, and it's like, man, and so I just say that to say like, there's these people that on the outside and inside, they are beautiful. Mm-hmm. But like they still have a story, and they still have a real suck story that somebody probably will need to hear.
Yep.
And it's like, why did this happen to me? I've been arrested. I've been broke. I've been depressed. I've been suicidal. Like I've got a laundry list just like everybody in this room does. Mm-hmm. But part of that in me is probably going to come up somewhere in conversation with somebody that's like, well, man, you wouldn't understand. It's like, hey, man, when I was 32, I went through this and hardest part of my life. And they'll be like, all right, now I can relate. Mm-hmm. And now I can talk to you because we're somewhat relatable.
Yep.
So I think always having that.
Ours may have been poor choices and you know, questionable paths here and there, but others have pain of sorrow that they've gone through, of loss or some other kind of struggle that wasn't choice, but it was just placed on they were just put in it, and coming through it is their strength story. And then you have those that like maybe, like you said, born and raised in it, and you've always had that love, you've always had that belief, you've always had that. I don't want to discredit that at all, because there are plenty out there who are like, had it pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't complain. And I'm like,
Elizabeth.
great, fantastic, because there are people like that who you want to be able to lean on because they have
Yeah.
that lifelong, to just be another fellow person around.
Right.
And then there was a Bible study that a cousin of mine got me into one time, and it was the coolest thing. The two women in charge one was like, has studied the Bible in and out in every translation and oh my gosh, she was like the most knowledgeable person I've ever met. And while I don't know her story, I fully believe that there are probably plenty of people who've not had a lot of struggle, but simply were just given the desire to know it all and be able to teach it. So that every facet of life has something to offer. Every facet of life, God uses it. Like he's like, hey, you made really poor choices. Remember how that felt? I'm going to let you use it over here with these 20-year-olds that you want to connect with. But but at the same time, that comes back to just being able to know that you can't change their story either. They may still make the choices. They may still fall away. They may fight you over your belief, but keep the calm and just keep being a light of Christ, because they'll carry it later. It'll hit later.
Well, we said this
know.
earlier. God met us all where we were at. And so that is definitely an approach that I like to take with people. I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm not judging you for where you are, but I want to meet you where you're at, and I want to come alongside you, and I want to point you to Jesus, and I want to help you through whatever it is that you're going through, because that's what I needed.
Right.
And that's what God did for me. So now I want to go and do that for somebody else. So you meet them where they're at.